Hello everyone, I'm Sharpedo43 once again, bringing you all another Wi-Fi battle. This battle is going to be not necessarily an OU battle. In fact, I don't think this is a Smogon battle whatsoever, in all honesty. Cause I don't know. This opponent actually, okay, so my opponent is MadBikerMax. This guy is a Twitch streamer on Twitch, obviously, and he's a guy that's heavily associated with Vanderforge in a way. Like, he's friends with Vanderforge, and I think he's previously known for shiny hunting, and I think also playthroughs or let's plays or something. I don't know, but he's definitely not a Wi-Fi battler in all honesty. But he recently started doing Wi-Fi battles, and this is one of those times where I tried getting a Wi-Fi battle. In fact, I think I have battled him in the past once at least, but I don't know what happened with that battle, so I had to get another one, and this is the one that I got. But again, on the whole Smogon battle thing, I don't think this is a Smogon battle because apparently there were some rules I had to read about before battling MadBikerMax, and some of those rules involved banning stuff like Celebi and Shaman and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of other bans, but there were some bans that you don't typically see for Smogon, so it's not like banning Marshadow. In fact, I don't think Marshadow was even banned in that list, if I recall, which is kind of interesting because, yeah, and I think stuff like Mega Blaziken and Mega Lucario were also not banned there, so they have their own little infrastructure of sorts with the whole banning system. Like, they ban mythical Pokemon, at least most of them, and leave some of them out, like the Tapus and the other legendaries like Zapdos and Moltres and all that stuff. But yeah, so that's gonna be the case. So because of that, oh yeah, and there was also that limitation that you can only have like one legendary mon or Tapu or Ultra Beast on your team. So as you can see right here, my team is it's supposed to be the same team that I used in the battle against Miss Espeon, but the problem is that I had to switch up a couple of my mons because of the aforementioned rules. So I had to swap out Zapdos, which is a mon that kind of breaks the rule of having only one legendary, considering I have Tapu Fini on my team. And there was also this item clause rule where I couldn't have duplicate items, and since Rotom had, since Tapu Fini and Ferrothorn had leftovers, I had to swap Tapu Fini's item with something else basically. So yeah, so there's a little bit of a reconstruction of sorts with this team. Not necessarily, I just changed a couple things here and there with this team just to qualify for the rule, or yeah, just to qualify for a battle against MadBikerMax here. So yeah, with all that extended talk out of the way, now let's get into the battle. This is an interesting battle, and once again, I'm still trying out the whole thingamajigger with Mimikyu. I was trying to use the signature Z move in the last battle, but I couldn't because the circumstances were just not warranted in my opinion. So we're gonna try our luck here. So here, as you can see, he leads off with Gyarados. I lead off with Rotom-Wash. I led with this because I just wanted to see if he led with Tapu Lele, and if so, what would he lock himself into. I wanted to see what his potential lead was. I was hoping he would lead with Gyarados, but I didn't expect him to, but he does. So yeah, and here we go. He's gonna Mega Evolve now, which is, yeah, it makes sense because now he's not X4 weak to electric moves, but because this Rotom here is actually an offensive one as opposed to a defensive one, I'm actually going to be able to do a lot of damage to this Gyarados with just Volt Switch. Had I Thunderbolted, it probably would have still been a 2-hit KO, but it would have done a lot more damage. But I just wanted to get out of there in case this man had Earthquake on this Gyarados. Because fun fact, this Gyarados, because it gets Mold Breaker, it can definitely hit Rotom Wash even through Levitate, because Levitate is just an ability. It's not like it makes Rotom instantly a flying type. The ability, if there's a Pokemon with Earthquake and Mold Breaker, it can still hit Rotom even through Levitate. So that's why I switched into Ferrothorn to see what move he would go for. I was actually hoping that he'd go for Waterfall, but the Earthquake was also an option there, so that's why I sent in Ferrothorn. He switches into, I think, Salamence here, and then I hard switch back into Rotom, and he hard switched back into Gyarados again. So I just went for Thunderbolt here, and he just loses Gyarados, which is pretty good with me. I didn't expect him to make this switch in all honesty, so I was just like, oh, okay, I'll take it. But I don't know, I'm guessing he wanted a free switch into Tapu Lele here, because let me tell you, this Tapu Lele, I don't think I have very easy switch-ins. Like, I have Ferrothorn, but if this thing has Focus Blast or even Hidden Power Fire, I can be in trouble. Nonetheless, I wanted to try my luck here and just send in Ferrothorn on the list to see if he actually does have it. And if he does have it, I kind of am aware of what to expect now. But he thankfully does go for the Moonblast here, so I'm not going to take it too badly. He gets the special attack drop, which doesn't really matter to me in all honesty. I think right here what I want to do now, I don't get spikes up. I think I just go straight for the power whip. I don't remember. He is going to switch out though. And going to Nidhogg. Oh no, I think here I actually predicted him to switch out. I wasn't sure into what, but I was predicting a switch of sorts, and I hard switched out myself going into Tapu Fini here. I don't know if I wasn't expecting the Salamence, I don't remember, but if I did, then that was a good play on my part. But yeah, Tapu Fini's out here now, and I think here this is a position where I was able to go for the Nature's Madness, I believe. And he's gonna switch out, obviously, expecting a Moonblast. He goes into Magnezone, and I definitely go for the Nature's Madness right here, getting at least over half damage done to this thing. And here I'm definitely gonna switch out Tapu Fini because I don't want Tapu Fini to go down to a Thunderbolt. If he goes for Volt Switch, well, I'm in a good position, because I'm gonna send out Garchomp, and he does go for Thunderbolt. So I was glad I switched in Garchomp here. He's now forced to switch out, and he's gonna go into Salamence, which is kind of interesting because had I went for Outrage, which I don't have by the way, he would have definitely been gone with the Salamence. But I went for Toxic here because I was thinking, what if he wants to switch in the Salamence, or not the Salamence? Actually, I don't know why I went for Toxic. Looking at his team, yeah, there's no reason to go for Toxic when the Misty Train is up. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I went for it. Yeah, his team doesn't have anything. No, I don't know. But anyways, I just go for Toxic, and then I just switch out into Tapu Fini because I did get the Toxic on the Salamence, and figure, okay, he'll probably try to go for a Dragon move now, right? So here he's gonna switch out now and go into the Dr. Doppler thingy, which is the Magnezone. And I think here I go for Surf just to see how much it will do if he tries to switch back in the Magnezone, which he does. And it doesn't do a lot, which kind of gives me the impression that it's maybe Assault Vested. So I go for another one. Here, for a second, I was kind of hoping that maybe the last damage that I did earlier was a low roll maybe, but it doesn't seem to be. It seems to be AV Magnezone. And looking at this damage, because this is a Spadef Fini as opposed to a defensive one, I was convinced that this is definitely a modest Magnezone, because otherwise it shouldn't be doing that much damage to a calm Fini. So yeah, but anyways, I do take out the Magnezone with a Tapu Fini, which is kind of interesting. But now he gets a free switch into Tapu Lele again, which is one of those things that I have very limited switch-ins unless he mispredicts. Because if he predicts correctly with this Tapu Fini, he can definitely get the better out of me, especially with the attempts at switching in Ferrothorn, which is definitely the obvious switch in against Tapu Fini. But here he goes for Thunderbolt, so I was like, oh. Which is kind of surprising because I honestly thought he would go for the Psychic that's boosted in the Psychic terrain. I think that does a lot more than Thunderbolt, not being stab and all that. So, I don't know. But yeah, he did go for it, and this is good for me because my Ferrothorn does resist Thunderbolt very, very well, considering it's not a stab move on Tapu Lele. So he's forced to switch out yet again, and I think here I tried going for the Leech Seed so that I get some HP back with this Ferrothorn. And then anything else I try switching in, like Tapu Fini for example, I can just get some HP back. If he does go for the right move on Tapu Fini and not go for a Dragon move, which is what I'm hoping for. He's going to take poison damage in the process as well. So here I'm going to switch out. I think here I decided to switch into okay, so yeah, here I switch into Tapu Fini, which is good. But then here is where something interesting happens. So I get the Misty terrain back up, getting rid of the Psychic terrain. He does go for Fire Blast, so I was actually thankful that I switched out because I was always afraid of a potential fire type move for my Ferrothorn there. So I switched in the Tapu Fini like I said earlier, and I am going to get HP back. Basically all that I planned for, went as accordingly, basically. But here's where the interesting thing comes. I switch out and I go into Rotom because I thought that maybe, just maybe, he'll go for a switch basically. But he actually ends up going for the Draco Meter on my Tapu Fini, but I hard switched in the Rotom thinking he wouldn't go for any Dragon move. So I was just like, oh, well. So here, my Rotom does survive, and I am going to be able to possibly take out this Salamence because, first of all, it's weakened, and even if it wasn't weakened, this Rotom is actually still Scarfed, so I do outspeed the Salamence, thankfully, and I just get to take it out with the Volt Switch. Thankfully, this thing never got a Dragon Dance up, because if it did, that would have been problematic. Could have probably swiped a lot of my team. Well, with the exception of Tapu Fini, but Tapu Fini didn't have Moonblast, by the way. So that's why I was kind of in a predicament with the Salamence. But thankfully, Salamence is gone. He is going to send out Tapu Lele here to get back the Psychic Surge. And here I'm gonna, I think, switch out because I don't want to lose the disguise on this Mimikyu yet. Because there's things on his team that kind of, like I need Mimikyu for. So I'm gonna hard switch in the Tapu Fini here just to get rid of the Psychic terrain. And hope he doesn't go for a Psychic move. Or even the Thunderbolt. I actually was hoping he'd go for anything. Yeah, just for the Shadow Ball actually. Yeah, Shadow Ball because this is the item I had on Tapu Fini. A Agua Berry because this is what I needed to get a lot of HP. Because Tapu Fini had leftovers, I figured why not give it another item that kind of allows it to recover. And I figured the Agua Berry, considering the nature of Tapu Fini, was the better choice in all honesty. So yeah, here I go for Nature's Madness here, expecting another switch. He decides to go into this Dr. Wily thing, which is actually fine with me because I do get a lot of damage on it. I cut its HP in half, which is really, really good. Now this Porygon-Z is obviously going to be that damn Z conversion. Porygon-Z, so it's only a matter of what typing he gets out of this Z conversion. If it's electric, I can be in trouble. If it's ghost though, I do have some options with Ferrothorn kind of, because I don't have to worry about it. Ice, because ice is probably another devastating typing along with electric type. The ice or the electric Z conversions from Porygon always have given me real issues, with ghost being the more manageable one of all the other typings. So yeah. But anyways, here I hard switch in the Rotom just to sack it because I didn't want to lose Tapu Fini just yet since it survived. So here I'm gonna hard switch in the Mimikyu. Actually, it was not a hard switch; it was a Volt switch, or it was a sack, and I sent in Mimikyu here. Reason why was because he was a Ghost type, and now I get to Shadow Sneak this thing. It got +1 in defense, but Shadow Sneak can still stab on Mimikyu, and I think Mimikyu is relatively powerful. So, and I have my disguise intact, which is really like the best part here. And the reason why is because this Tapu Lele, I am convinced is scarfed. So it is going to outspeed Mimikyu and get rid of its disguise, but not without me getting a Shadow Claw off, which I'm hoping can take it out, because if it doesn't take it out, then we could have issues in all honesty, because then it went for Shadow Ball, so Shadow Ball might be able to take out my Mimikyu, because it's super effective on Mimikyu, obviously. However, he actually, surprisingly enough, does not KO with the Shadow Ball. I thought it would, honestly, but it doesn't. In that case, maybe he should have went for the Psychic, because Psychic is not only boosted by its stab, but also by the Psychic terrain, which is basically like 2 times effective the move Psychic. Plus it's 90 base power compared to the 80 base power from Shadow Ball. So I think him going for Shadow Ball was probably a mistake in all honesty, considering the circumstances. Now here, for this last Pokemon, he's going to go into Muck, and I'm just going to pull out this Twinkle Tackle thingy. Oh, it's not Twinkle Tackle, actually. It's the Let's Cuddle Together or something like that. Let's Cuddle Together, I think. I don't know what it's called. It's going to show right here. If you guys can see it, that's great. If this thing gets censored by Game Freak or something, then yeah, we're going to have issues, obviously. But yeah, it's Let's Snuggle Together, not Let's Cuddle Together. It's Let's Snuggle Forever, I think it was called, not Together. I don't know what the name of this move. I almost never see this move, honestly. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen this move ever activated. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it in all honesty. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I don't think I've seen it, but yeah, I used this to try to take out the Alola Muck. It does not take it out. But this guy doesn't even go for Poison Jab or Knockoff. He just keeps going for Shadow Sneak, so I am just able to take this thing out with a Play Rough. He could have easily taken out my Mimikyu had he just gone for one of those moves, especially after I went for the Z move that didn't KO it, but oh well, he didn't do it, so yeah, that's going to be, I think, a 4-0, or was it a 5-0? I think it was a 5-0, yeah, I think it was a 5-0 victory in our favor. But yeah, that was going to be the whole game. Good game to MadBikerMax. Yeah, so yeah, good game, because I wanted to get a battle up, and I wanted to showcase this team once again, but except not really, because I couldn't, obviously, because I had to basically mix it up a little bit because of the rules and whatnot. But I wanted to get a battle with MadBikerMax because he's friends with Vanderforge, and I wanted to see how he battles and whatnot. I battled Vanderforge already, so I figured why not battle his friend Max, and maybe a few others if they ever do battles. In fact, the fact that he was doing battles was kind of what got me into wanting to get a battle with him, in all honesty. So yeah, I figured why not get a battle with him, and I thought this was a interesting battle. It could have been better, in all honesty, but you know, I battle this guy a lot now, and it's like, well, not a lot, just one time, but both times have been kind of the same, in all honesty. So I just figured just post this battle. I get to use the Mimikyu thingy. Oh shoot, I made a loud ass stomp right there. I apologize for that, but yeah, I did get to use the signature move for Mimikyu now with an actual reason, because in the last battle there was just no reason for me to go for Let's Snuggle Forever, because it was just a weakened Tapu Lele that wasn't even Choice Scarf. In this case, the Monk was at full HP. There was no reason for me not to go for that move for the sake of damage, because if he took out my Mimikyu, I could have sent out any other Pokemon to take it out. So yeah, this battle served a purpose. Damn it. Anyways, once again, thank you all for watching this battle, and gonna get into MadBikerMax once again. He is a Twitch streamer, like I said before, so I am gonna link his Twitch stream in the description if you guys want to check him out. I think that's the only handle I'm familiar with on MadBikerMax, so that's probably the only one you're gonna see. So with all that said, I'll catch you guys for the next battle, but for now, just take it easy.